into the neutral jump again.
Yeah, that's the technique. That's what I would have did. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. My name is Keeganers, and you know, ever since I was a kid, I've been enthralled by that move, the Shoryuken. Such a simple, yet powerful and sexy move. And as I'm sure as it was for many of us starting our first fighting game, our first major executional roadblock. Forward, down, down, forward, punch. Get it twisted, punk. I practiced the Shoryuken input day and night, even in my sleep, until I mastered it. I mean, I might not anti you in the clutch because I'm thinking about the drive impact and the mental stack is too high, but that's beside the point. Input-wise, I'm great. I mean, the move is in my dang genetic code, dude. You got GATC, I got 623 plus HP FADC with Dan Hibiki on Ibuki from full screen at NLBC. Even when it comes to Smash, you think I'd play Ryu or Ken, right? No, listen to me, you're not listening. Why play them and do the Shoryuken every now and then when I can play Kazuya and have my entire neutral game be spamming electrics, maximizing my SPS? Come on. And even after all of that, it just isn't enough. You know, I've always wanted to... Forget it. You're gonna make fun of me. Really? Are you sure? Well, if you're sure, I just want to Shoryuken someone in real life, man. I mean, come on, we've all thought about doing it. Your sweet BBG's chains getting yanked by some buster at the local, and you hit him with one of these, you go... Shut... I can't do it! It's embarrassing, they're all gonna laugh at me. No, dude. This can't be. I mean, what would Ryu do?
Hey there, everybody.
The answer lies in the heart of battle.
That's it! What was I saying earlier? I gotta practice, and I gotta learn from the best. Join me as we take a look at all the Shoryukens throughout history and see if I can fulfill my childhood dream of performing one. And we can rank them too, I think that'd be fun. My name is Keeganers, and this is ranking every Shoryuken and then doing one in real life. Now you may be thinking, whoa, what even is a Shoryuken? And if you're asking yourself that question, thanks for checking the video out, Grandpa, I really appreciate it. Well, the manual for the TurboGrafx port of SF1 lists it as an attack from a low position throwing an uppercut and a knee kick. But that version of the game is called Fighting Street, so perhaps an unreliable narrator. Essentially, it's a big jumping uppercut. I wish I could show you, but it's this. Now, there have been a lot of different Shoryukens throughout the years and a lot of similar spin-off moves, so I'm going to be taking what is and isn't a Shoryuken on a case-by-case basis, but everything that's listed under the Shoryuken page on the wiki, we will be talking about and ranking. Also, I'm not going to rank each game's Shoryukens differently. I'm going to look at it at a blanket level. Like, we know Ryu's Shoryuken is basically the same in Champion Edition as it is in Super Turbo, as it is in American Dad vs. Family Guy Kung Fu 2. Meg. I'm also going to be keeping it in-universe to official Shoryuken appearances, so I'm sorry, Jago. I love you, sweetie. S tier, but some other time. Now, before we jump into the action, let's put our thinking caps on and take a look at the lore. Now, before you were even freaking born, dude, there was this guy named Gotetsu, and he was a master of the martial art known as Ansetsuken, or the Assassin's Fist. Now, at the core of Ansetsuken is three basic techniques: the Hadoken, the Tatsumaki Senpukyak, and most importantly, the Shoryuken. Now, Gotetsu taught Ansetsuken to his two students, the brothers Akuma and Goken. Akuma embraced the killing intentness of the martial art known as the Satsui no Hado, and he murdered his master in cold blood with a raging demon. Boo! Boo! Evil's bad, boo! Goken, on the other hand, embraced the Kyoi no Hado, or the power of nothingness, which is all about loving others and being Christian and punching the shit out of each other. Is this making sense? To put it in soy boy terms, it's basically the dark and the light side, and old Obi-Wan over here taught these techniques to his two students, Ken and Ryu. So let's go to the one that started it all, Ryu's Shoryuken. Now, this move is the one, dude. It is choice. It's the one I fell in love with. Its first appearance, though, is kinda dumb. And good luck even getting one out in this game with its horrible input system. It feels like poop from a butt. It's here, however, that we probably get the coolest ever in-lore Shoryuken. It's the final match of the Street Fighter 1 tournament, and Sagat is dogging on Ryu. And Ryu, with the last of his energy, lets out a Shoryuken so big that it rips a huge hole in Sagat's chest, giving him his famous scar. It's fucking cold, dude. Then in Street Fighter 2, we get the basis of what a Shoryuken should be gameplay-wise. A powerful anti-air and a high-risk, high-reward wake-up option. Now, Shoryuken directly translates to Rising Dragon Fist, or colloquially known as the Dragon Punch, or DP. Now, a lot of moves fill similar gameplay roles, so they're also known as DPs. Kami's Cannon Spike, for example, is a DP, but is it a Shoryuken? Clearly not. Which goes to show how cool the Shoryuken is. It's genre-defining. You can find DPs in every game, and that all started here with Ryu. Ryu's Shoryuken is usually one hit, sometimes two, and it's got such a great weight and impact to it. Hitting a Shoryuken feels so good because mentally you're able to read your opponent's option, be able to executionally punish it, and that powerful just one hit really punctuates it. In Street Fighter V, Ryu could use his V-Trigger 1 to enhance his Shoryuken to have this awesome lightning effect. Thank you, Ryu, very cool. But his V-Trigger 2 gives him a follow-up punch, which turns his Shoryuken into this really cool juggle combo. But other than that, that's about as crazy as Ryu's regular Shoryuken gets, and it doesn't need a lot. It's the OG DP, I'm giving it A tier. It's also worth noting that Street Fighter 2 has a famous mistranslation of Shoryuken, that being Shanglong. Ryu's win quote in the United States was, "You must defeat Shanglong to stand a chance," which is supposed to be Shoryuken, but people just thought Shanglong was his own dude. So of course a bunch of gaming magazines made fake rumors and fake screenshots of epic Shanglong boss fights, but he's not real. Until on the Street Fighter V website they made a character entry for a man named Shanglong, who apparently is so powerful that anyone who sees him dies within 24 hours. So, my bad guys. It even says in his character entry that he can Shoryuken mid-air, but you can fight him as a secret boss fight in World Tour mode, and he doesn't do it, so I'm not ranking it, Shang. I don't believe you. Welcome to nothing tier. Next up, we gotta do the main man, Ken Masters. In Street Fighter 1, Ken and Ryu's Shoryukens are exactly the same since they're clones of each other in that game, but in Street Fighter 2, Ken's Shoryuken gains more hits, and if you do the heavy version, ooh, it's fire, bro, it's so fire. Now, Ken is meant to be the young, hot-headed, pretty boy American out of the two, so they designed his gameplay to reflect that. And would you look at that? In Marvel, he can even Shoryuken in the air! No one's even thought of that before! Notably, in Street Fighter 6, his regular heavy Shoryuken doesn't have the fire effects, and you have to use his run special to get it started. I love when the Street Fighter games have little storytelling elements like this baked into the gameplay, because not only does this represent how his spark is gone because of all the bad events of the Street Fighter 6 story, but also his growing case of erectile dysfunction. Now when it comes to the Shoryuken, I'm more on the Ryu than the Ken side of things, and a lot of people are the other way around. They see Ken's as the cool one and Ryu's as boring, and that's fine, you just don't get it. I mean, I like it, it's cool, I just don't like it as much as Ryu's, so I'm putting it in B tier. Sorry, Ken Bros. Go back to X the Everything app, or wherever you guys hang out. Now let's finish this Shoto trifecta with Akuma's Go Shoryuken. Woohoo! Our first Evo Shoryuken. Now Akuma's Go Shoryuken is multi-hit like Ken's, usually doing about 3 hits, and oh, it's so cool too, by the way, that you can punch Vega and his mask comes off. If you can hit someone so hard that articles of clothing are removed, that's evil. Go Shoryuken usually has these cool black paint strokes, and in the Marvel games it has this dark Hado fire energy to it. You end up seeing Akuma's Go Shoryuken a lot as well because his light Tatsu innately juggles into it, so it ends up being a bread and butter combo for him in a lot of his games. It's also worth noting that Akuma sometimes also gets a follow-up called Mu, which is a big teleport slam after his Go Shoryuken. And I like it. It's menacing, you get to hear his scary voice. I'm gonna put it B tier, right above Ken's. Okay, Ken Bros. I'm sorry, I'll give you one. Let's do the first ever Shoryuken Super, Shoryu Reppa. I gotta give it to him. He's an innovator. He did 2 of them, sometimes even 3 of them. Originating as his super from ST, Ken does 1 regular Shoryuken and then 1 heavy fire one in 1 combo. And this changes throughout the games too. Street Fighter doesn't have a lot of explicit storytelling moments, but you can see the power scaling in the way that this was originally his super, and now in Street Fighter V and 6, just an EX move. It's a classic super, it's very flashy, I'm gonna put it in A tier, above Ryu's. See? Ken Bros, we're back! Now, after Ryu gave Sagat his scar in Street Fighter 1, Sagat was pissed, and he swore he would beat Ryu if they ever fought each other again. To prepare for this battle, Sagat created his own version of the move, called the Tiger Uppercut. It sounds awesome, but in Street Fighter 2 it sounds lame. Tiger Uppercut. Sagat has a lot of supers that end in some sort of enhanced Tiger Uppercut, but since it's only an honorary Shoryuken, I'm just gonna rank my favorite, that being Tiger Destruction. 1, because it's called Tiger Destruction. And 2, because when you use it in his rival battle, he goes, Ryu! A tier. Alright, let's do another super, the Shoryuken super. Ryu's Shinriukens. First appearing in Street Fighter 3, it starts with a heavy right gut punch, followed by a big left-handed Shoryuken. This is the perfect example of the impactful Shoryuken. I love in Street Fighter 3 how the sprites just like vibrate like their old bones are getting crunched. Another notable appearance of this move is in the Alpha series, where he actually throws out an elbow before he does the uppercut. This is the first Shin Shoryuken timeline-wise, so it's cool seeing like a proto version of it. The Alpha version of the move is also incredibly spacing dependent, and if you space it wrong, you actually get a different type of Shoryuken, which we will talk about soon. This move is almost always Ryu's level 3 in any of his crossover games. It's great in Marvel, especially in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, where if you're low health, you have to battle the Satsui no Hado mid-Shoryuken, and you conquer it, dude. Love wins! It's his final smash in Smash Bros. In Street Fighter V, it's notably absent, except for an AI battle where the computer can do it to you, but you can't, and I cried until its triumphant return in Street Fighter VI. And ooh, I love the Critical Art version with all the electric crackles of it and the power of nothingness, and it's like a Street Fighter V Shoryukens, it's like all the stuff that Goken taught him, and it's just S tier, bro, it's S tier. Speaking of S tier, I think it's time we talked about Dan Hibiki. If you don't know this pink bastard, he's a little jokester. He eats beans over the sink. He's a parody joke character with all these Shoto and Setsuken moves, but dumb on purpose. Now in lore, Dan actually trained with Goken before Ryu and Ken did. Goken then stopped training him because he was only motivated by revenge because Dan wanted to kill Sagat because Sagat killed his dad, and it's a whole thing. So Dan actually thinks that Ryu and Ken are copying him, which I guess they kind of are. Anyways, Dan has developed his own inferior version of the Shoryuken called the Koryuken. Now remember when I said the Shoryuken is a powerful anti-air and wake-up option? That's mainly because of its startup invincibility. Now Dan's Koryuken in Street Fighter Alpha 3 has invincibility randomly. Apparently if it's your 23rd action of the match, it will always have invincibility. So I guess if you're like some sort of speedrunner, RNG, manipulator type guy, I bet you really would still not like to play Dan because he sucks and is unoptimal. But that's got some charm to it. So, C tier. You gotta take this seriously, dude. You're not taking it seriously. He also has what's called the Koryu Reppa, which is his copy of the Shoryu Reppa. And if you do the math on that, that's one more than regular, so let's do one more than regular. The Shiso Baraiken also ends with a big Koryuken, but this isn't a Shiso Baraiken tier list. I'd give it S tier on that, but I'm not gonna count it. Okay, enough messing around. Let's get to the brass tacks of it. Ken's Shinriuken. It's one of his trademark fiery Shoryukens, but he spins multiple times and flies high into the air. It debuted in the Alpha games, but I've always loved how it appears in the Versus series with that big fiery pillar. Street Fighter 4 has a really great version of it that starts with this cool combo, and there's even a glitch tied to it where you can turn it into a 4-minute long super. So that's dope. It's his final smash. It appears in Super Gem Fighter, and even in Street Fighter V, it's his V-Trigger 2, and you can mash it to even combo it into his other super, which is always a plus. Ken Bros, let's reach an agreement. I'll end my downplay, you end your downplay. Now let's put that guy in S tier. Now here's a funny one. Ryu in Marvel 3 also gets the Hado Shoryuken, which combines the two famous moves. This one I feel like is a lot better in concept than it is in application. It has really slow startup and not very good damage. I've literally never seen anyone use it other than like swag combos, so I wish it was better. B tier. Next up, let's talk about Sakura with her signature Shoken. Psh, a Shoryuken from a girl? It's not like I'm even gonna fucking— oh! On second thought, I don't know why a small Japanese schoolgirl couldn't do a Shoryuken the same as an eternal shredded demon man. I've always been a big proponent of women in Ensatsuken. Now, Sakura was walking home from school one day when she saw Ryu fight, and it changed her life. She wanted to be just like him. What is this, my biography? So she imitated his moves and developed her own version of the Shoryuken called the Shoken. It's probably the most unorthodox of the traditional Shoryuken variants. It has up to 8 hits, and believe me, I felt all 8. She also moves really far forward when she does it, and she feels really floaty. And in the Marvel games, they even give her some Hadoken energy to it, and in Super Gem Fighter, she gets an umbrella. And despite all the cool stuff about it, I kind of don't really like it, so I think I'm going to put it in C.
Careful, you might hurt yourself.
Nothing, Sakura.
I won't go easy on you.
Hi, Papa John's. Can I please get a pepperoni pizza with 5'2" Japanese schoolgirl, unarmed but can throw Hadokens? Hurry, please. She's also got the Midare Zakura, which is your standard Shoryu Reppa style special, so that gets B tier, and okay, what else do we got here? In Street Fighter EX3, Ryu and Ken have a Meteor Tag combo where they both Shoryuken a guy at the same time. That's cool. That's A tier, at least. That's cool. Speaking of Ken, it's time you meet Sean Matsuda. Sean begged Ken Masters to train him, and after multiple failed attempts, eventually he did. Ryu also didn't want to train Sakura initially, and he was very hesitant because he was on his own journey of self-discovery and wasn't sure if he was ready to take on a student. Ken, on the other hand, didn't want to train Sean because he thought he was bad and annoying. Ken's also apparently not that good of a teacher, and Sean gets his ass whooped all of the time. But he wants to be good, and I believe in Sean. I see a lot of myself in him. We're both really cool and strong. He also explicitly states that he hates being compared to Dan Hibiki, who he presumably has never met. Now, Sean's version of the Shoryuken is called the Dragon Smash, and despite Sean only appearing in Street Fighter 3, depending on which version of the game, you get a different Dragon Smash. In New Generations and Second Impact, it's basically your standard Shoryuken, but it has a second mid-air hit which slams the opponent down. But then in Third Strike, it got changed to a two-handed Shoryuken, which is different. I don't really know how that would work. Now in Second Impact, Sean was really strong, too strong to the developers, so they kind of lore nerfed him to be worse than everyone else. But it's really strange that instead of just adding extra frames to Dragon Smash or making it do less damage, they made a completely new version of it. So I'm going to put the OG Dragon Smash pretty high, but Third Strike Dragon Smash? Get out of here, man. But it wouldn't be a real Shoryuken if he didn't have a Reppa version. This is Shoryuken, which I'll excuse the copying since he's literally Ken's student and it has a lot of hits, so there you go. In Street Fighter 6, Ken actually gets a new Shoryuken which combines his two supers into the Shinryu Reppa. It does 3 Shoryukens like the Shoryu Reppa, but then ends in a big spiral Shinryuken, and if you're in the Critical Art version, a follow-up face slam just like Sean's from Third Strike, so it's either he taught it to him or even he's copying it from Sean. It's so cool. S tier. And speaking of copying, let's talk about Seth. Seth is a robot test tube baby made by M. Bison to be a future body for him to possess. However, Seth gained his own consciousness and decided he didn't like that very much, so now his main goal is to kill M. Bison and act like I don't know nobody. To do this, Seth wanted to copy the moves of all the strongest fighters, so he's got Dalsum Stretchy Limbs, SPD, Sonic Boom, and of course, the Shoryuken. And his Shoryuken is awesome. Once you hit it, you can do it again, and again, and again, again. Now that's maximizing your SPS. A tier. In Street Fighter V, Seth returns with a new sexy girl body, and if he's fighting Ken, can copy him and do his flaming Shoryuken. Seth canonically has no gender, so I'm gonna have to file these two under ungendered Shoryukens. I'm sorry ladies, I don't make the rules. But if I'm hoping to add my own Keeganer's male Shoryuken to the list, maybe I should get some inspiration from Master Gouken. When I was a kid and played Gouken for the first time, I thought it was so cool you could be the master. I booted up training mode, went to his move list, and oh, what's this? Where's the Shoryuken? Yeah, he doesn't have a Shoryuken on his DP input. He gets this forward palm move called Senkugushoha. And dude, I was devastated. Until I saw the super. The Forbidden Shoryuken? His Shoryukens are so strong that they have to be supers? It's not incredibly cinematic, but it's got a lot of hits and the lore around it is so cool. Solid A tier. Then for his Ultra, he has the Shin Shoryuken, and it's just like Ryu's in Third Strike because he teaches it to him. Oh my god, it is so dope. Is this as cool to you as it is to me? Probably not. Thanks for watching though. And Goken's back throw is a perfect launcher that combos right into it, but you still have to manually time it. Oh, it's S tier. It's perfection. I love you, Goken. I will never betray you like your brother. Speaking of which, it's finally time for the evil version lightning round. These are all the characters we've already talked about, bad guy variants, and they're all very similar, but they have different Shoryukens. First up, the most famous one, Evil Ryu. Evil Ryu is Ryu if he embraced the Satsui no Hado and became a villain. Starting out as a hidden character in the Alpha games, he's basically a combination of Ryu and Akuma, which makes his Shoryuken multi-hit. Cool, B tier. But in Street Fighter 4, he really gets his own identity, and probably one of the coolest moves in the entire franchise, his version of Akuma's Misatsu Goshoryu. He does 3 Goshoryukens in a row, with the last one doing a mini raging demon, sucks all the darkness of the background into his hand, slams you down, and then pushes it all in your head. Evil, you win this one. S tier. Next up is Violent Ken, who is not actually succumbing to the Satsui no Hado, he's being brainwashed by M. Bison's psycho power. So his purple Shoryukens aren't actually Dark Hado energy, they're M. Bison's psycho power, which is neat, but it's just another purple Shoryuken. Now Akuma has a powered up version of himself called Shin Akuma, but all of his moves are basically the same. He gets 2 air fireballs, but his Shoryuken is mostly unchanged. But beyond Shin Akuma, Akuma transcends his humanity and becomes Oni. All of Oni's regular Shoryukens are mini Shin Shoryukens, punching with the opposite hand before going for the uppercut. That's just so dope, and another great example of that moveset power scaling. A tier. He also has the Tenchi Sokaigen, which launches the opponent into the air, and then he flies up with the biggest Go Shoryuken ever, right in the middle of your back, and it does the Heaven Kanji. Yeah, it's S tier. Why does everything evil have to be so cool? But what if he was a robot? You've all asked. Well, meet Cyber Akuma, lil bro. Yup. Cyber Akuma Shoryukens are basically the same, but they do have funny new names. There's the Shining Circuit Go Shoryuken and the Scramble Go Punch. Cool idea, Capcom. But what if he was a bigger robot? This guy doesn't know about Zero Akuma. There's also Dark Sakura, which is an install super you can use in the Marvel games that makes her skin dark and she gets Akuma moves. I wouldn't imply that. Her Shoken is basically the same, but apparently in lore she got these abilities by getting sunburnt, and as it fades, she becomes not evil anymore. Cool idea, Capcom. Next up is Kage. Isn't that just Evil Ryu? No, Evil Ryu is bad timeline Ryu if he chooses to embrace the Satsui no Hado. Kage is the physical manifestation of the murderous intent within Ryu that Goken sealed away during the events of Street Fighter 4, the ties that bind. Come on, buddy, keep up. His Go Shoryuken is your standard Dark Hado fare, but he gets some crazy cancels out of it. He also has the option of choosing to do a teleport slam follow-up just like Akuma's move. His EX is the standard Go Shoryu Reppa, so I'll count that too as B tier. Lastly, he has the Metz Shoryuken, the evil version of Ryu's Shin Shoryuken. Metz itself means destruction, and he proves it, man. On hit, it makes the screen go all red, and he really gives it to him with that knee there. It's just like the Fighting Street manual said. A tier.
Oh, hello! I was just editing the video and I realized I've missed a few Shoryukens. Silly me. I have snubbed Ken Masters once again, and have forgotten to include Violent Ken Supers. For one, he has a purple Shinriuken, derivative, but still good. And the Shinbu Mesat, which has one of the coolest sprites I have ever seen. My apologies, Mr. Violent. And also chalk another one up for the ladies, for I've forgotten the Marvel games Rogue can kiss Ken Masters and steal his flaming Shoryuken. If Rogue were to kiss me, she would be very good at fighting games. And in Marvel 3 for Deadpool's launcher, he says, Shoryuken. Not a special move, but hey, everybody loves Deadpool! Yes, and I'm sure I've missed a few. If you can think of any cool ones, comment them down below, and if you've been waiting for Luke's rising uppercut this entire time, thanks for the watch time. Anyway, on to the finale!
Well, that's it for the Evil Funny Bunch, and I just have one more Shoryuken to share with you. My favorite, Ryu's Met's Shoryuken. Now, this move actually debuted in the Alpha series and is the misspaced one I mentioned when talking about the Shinsho. Then the move returned in Street Fighter 4 as Ryu's Ultra 2, and it is just insane. It perfectly represents Ryu's struggle with the Satsui no Hado and all the power he has that he just chooses not to use. And it perfectly sells the impact, man. I mean, you hit it and the whole screen goes white and the music stops and the only thing you can hear is the teeth grinding of your opponent and Ryu goes, Shoryuken! Oh my god! I did it! Okay, it's S tier, it's the best one. We gotta go, follow me. Hey everybody, we are finally here after 3 long months of preparation to finally perform the in real life Keeganer Shoryuken. To help us out today, we got my good friend Caleb. I'm just gonna do a couple warm-ups and then we'll get started, okay?
So, you think this is gonna hurt?
I'm really not too worried about it.
Okay, Keeganers, just like we practiced. Oh god. Come on, man.
Shoryuken!
Really? God, Keegan, you suck. They're all gonna laugh at you, and you know what? You deserve it. Look at him. He doesn't know what's led up to this. God, for once in your life, Keegan, do something about it!
Shoryuken!
If you can hit someone so hard that articles of clothing are removed, that's evil. What?
Caleb, what? Are you okay, man? What happened? What?
Oh my god. And it rips a huge hole in Sagat's chest, giving him his famous scar. It's fucking cold.
No!
You have piqued my interest. I will show you power. This sucks.